it's just so cool how all the pieces of your world really intersect, and make such a big difference in how you can take things, take concepts, and take ideas and trainings from one area of your life and apply it to somewhere else. And as soon as you get that entrepreneur bug, it's really easy to cross businesses with those ideas, or really see how your outside life can affect your business, and how you can take things that you learn in your business and put it in your personal life.
Yeah, and it's something that we don't always see when we get started down this path. I mean, think about this world of real estate, right? You are an investor. You're a real estate investor. It doesn't matter what type of real estate investing you're doing. You are an investor. You wear the shirt of the investor, right? And what you'll find is that, maybe even investor isn't the right word. Maybe for you, the right word is entrepreneur, right? We can choose the labels we want to put on ourselves, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
we get the opportunity to define that,
Mm-hmm.
not anyone else. And it does go much deeper than that. But
Mm-hmm.
as we stay in the physical plane here and we talk about the ways that we want to address and define ourselves, we want to make sure that those labels aren't confining.
Yeah.
So if you are an entrepreneur, you maybe have found this arena or this vehicle of real estate second, third, or fourth in line after other tried ventures that might be going well, that might be a part of your learning path that you've already made your way through.
Mm-hmm.
For some of you, real estate investing is the first vehicle that you found that can help you to level up and get you to that place that you want to go, that
Yep.
feel good place. And let's just, for the lack of a better term, call it financial freedom, peace of mind, being able to run your world on your own rules. However you look at it, I think that we all seek we all want to do the right things in life. We all want to get to the good place in life. We all want to live the good life. I'd say that's a pretty common denominator for everybody. And so it's not the only way to build wealth. Everybody knows there's a million ways to make $1 million. And so some of us have found real estate investing and done well in it, and then you move off into a brick and mortar business. Or you might find that, like myself, I got involved with real estate accidentally because I was introduced to business concepts a few years earlier through the realm of network marketing, MLM, multi-level marketing, right? Which might have its own stigmas to it, but that introduced me to the ideas of profits are better than wages. It introduced me to the concepts of having leverage and not having to constantly trade my hours for dollars is the only way to make money. And if you want to make more, just put in some overtime or get a second job. And it also introduced me to the idea of passive income, residual income. I'm like, residual? Isn't that the stuff at the bottom of the bathtub after you take a bath and nobody wants to touch those residuals? No, that's residue. I'm talking residual income where you get paid once, where you get do something once and get paid over and over and over and over again. The idea that it's not reserved for the movie stars and the authors that write a book and get royalties, and the landlords, those big real estate people that get money month after month after month as a mailbox income stream. And what I found was that was part of the thing that I believed in, because I had been trained in my undergraduate. You're just going to work until you're 65, and then you retire with $1 million. Then you're really set because that $1 million in your 401k, that'll get you all the way to 95 if you can live that long, and then you're done, right? You run out when your money runs out, and it's just kind of like, And so much of the financial projections are really around what do you need to survive? You mean like the bare minimum that I can do to scrape by? That's not an attitude of abundance. That's not an attitude of wealth. And so you find that along the way, you might get introduced to different types of real estate investing. Some are more active than others. Some generate more of that passive piece. Some are more capital gains focused. And what you just see is that as you navigate the ship, it's going to take you different places and open your eyes to different things. And you might realize, okay, that I might be working in the mailroom, but I really want to get to be the CEO or a C-level executive. Or I might be cool with middle management because that's the place that best maps to my skills and persona. And so knowing that you're not boxed into one particular thing on your entrepreneurial journey or your real estate journey or your life journey is important to understand, so that you have the ability to see yourself through kind eyes if the evidence you receive from the universe and your alignment of actions and intents lead you to a place where you recognize there might be enhancements or adjustments that you need to make in your life, or if potentially there are errors in judgment that you made in your past, things are coming more clearly now to you so that you can make the adjustments you need and get that train back on the right set of tracks.
Well, and I think that so often we want that next job, or we want that next thing, we want the next thing, we want the next thing. And then what happens is we see other people that have maybe attained what we think we desire. And so we want to be just like them and do just like that. And I remember when we got into real estate investing, at first it was, it just seems so simple. They break it down so that it is so simple. And quite frankly, a lot of it is very simple. But there's a lot to be done. There's a lot to be done. And so then you see, like, okay, you might be making a great path of progression over the past few years in your real estate investing journey. Or maybe you're on that journey right now, and you will, because you're just taking action one step after the next, after the next. That's great. That's all good and well. But then you go to an event and you see this one guy that showed up and was like, he blew it out of the water, and he does 100 million or $1 million in wholesale assignment fees every year, and it's his first year, or it's his second year. And you're like, how did he do it that fast? Like, how did he figure it out? And what was revealed essentially to me as I sat there and thought about this question a few years ago was that it's like, you know what? It just comes down to how you want to enter into the industry, and really the intentional thought behind it. Like for Drew and I, we just got going in it. We just started, one house at a time, one rental property at a time. Buy 4 greenhouses, 1 red hotel, 4 greenhouses, 1 hotel. Like that's how we entered in. And then we realized there's ways to do this faster. And they tell you to use other people's money. They don't necessarily show you exactly how to and what that really means, what the tactics are involved, but they tell you how to. And it was like, that sounds good, but we didn't really understand it until we started using it. And then it picked up the pace because the capital, like exponents defied. Like it just went through the roof, right? As far as the capital available for us to invest in properties went through the roof, because when you're using other people's money, there is no limit.
And that's important to understand, because so much of business in and of itself, it can get skewed a little bit, right? Because the idea that in this age, in this world, it's kind of like the, U.0, I think I've heard it referred to, it's the gig economy. Anybody can go and be a freelancer, an artist, a entrepreneur, a solopreneur, and we want to just basically be able to get our control back of our lifestyle, of our opportunity at success and financial freedom. But the funny thing about it is you can have all the gusto in the world, and you can do some great things for yourself by yourself. But the one thing we've learned in our journey is you don't get to the top of the mountain of success by yourself. You don't get there by yourself. You either need to take some people with you or have some people leading you up that mountain, but you're not going to get to the top alone. And most people that think they can, maybe 1 in a million do, but 99.9% end up, dead on the side of the mountain, trying and waving the white flag for help, as they tumble and stumble down. But we're here to share with you the idea that getting to the top doesn't have to be such a lonely journey. Even if you switch mountains or you pivot or you change direction in life, you still don't want to be by yourself. It's already lonely enough as it is, because you're thinking different, you're doing different things than other people. All of a sudden, you get to a point you can fire your boss, and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you want to have a late lunch, but there's no one to have a late lunch with because everybody's punching the clock or sitting in the afternoon meeting with their boss. Like, this is boring. So understanding that there will be a point where you essentially rise to the level of your own incompetence.
Right.
And that's the point you have to be able to recognize before you get there.
Right.
Recognize that you might need an assistant. You might just need some assistance. You might need a coach. You might need a mentor. You might need to join a meetup, a Recia group, a mastermind that can help you surround yourself with like-minded individuals that are going where you going where you want to go, that have been where you want to go, that might be able to provide insight as far as success tips, tricks, and hacks, or prevention of pitfalls, because some of that is so essential to us having the ability to actually succeed.
Right. I mean, think about the people that want to do it by themselves because they feel self-made, or they feel like that they are going, like, I'm going to do it from the bootstraps, versus the person that says, wait a second, if all I need is $10 million to buy however many houses, and then that's going to, generate this much money. Then they, instead of going after the houses and finding the houses, they first raise the capital to do the 10 million, and then they build the infrastructure. And it's the same in business. What if we're talking about assignment fees? We're talking about wholesale. It's a different path to progression and a different speed if you go one at a time and then learn to scale once you get good at what you're doing, versus saying, okay, the most successful wholesale companies out there, the most successful businesses out there, they have a team of people already in place that are going to answer the phone. Those are going to be the customer service. Then we're going to have the acquisitions people. Then we're going to have the dispositions people. We're going to have this infrastructure in place, and then hit the road, or like hit, and then go for it. We see Josh on here. What's up, Josh? And Josh helps people get to the top faster because he also understands the value of not going by himself up to the mountain. He's trying to take everybody he can up there, but it's not about pulling everybody. It's about everybody working together to get to the top. And if you can hire people out the gate that are going to be your acquisitions people, that are going to be your dispositions people, that are going to be your integrator if you're the visionary, or that are going to do like key roles of a business, and you're trying to build a business, then you're going to want a business coach that can teach you and can show you the way. Because it made so much sense to me when I heard this one guy in particular speak about, okay, so I knew I wanted to get into real estate. I understood like how it worked as far as the assignments go, and I had some business background, so I built this, and then I brought these people in, and then we went off to it, and we'd sent out the mailers and all of this. And I just brought in a money partner, or I brought in somebody who raised the capital so that they could get us this way, so we could support that infrastructure. And now we're doing $1 million a year in assignment fees because we have that setup. And so like it takes, for me, it was like just a mind-blowing example of like, wait a second, people aren't even exposed to the idea that there is more than one way up this mountain. And then it really comes down to, but is that really what you want? Like, what is it that you want? Do you want to have that business, that you want to build that really big business? Like, that is great if you do. If you don't, that's also great. But it's critical that you know that before you build it. If you build a huge business, it might take care of you financially, but your soul will be miserable. You're gonna still, it's possible to still have the Mondays, that feeling where you don't want to get out of bed. It's possible to create that even in the land of self-employment, entrepreneurship, building the big business, even after you have the big business. So you have to know exactly, where you're trying to go, and also recognize that you might make mistakes. You might think you want this, and then when you start building it, you realize, no, I don't. And that's okay also.
Oh yeah. So learning to kind of calibrate your own internal compass as you seek your own true north is one of those things you kind of have to do through a little bit of trial and error. You've actually got to live to learn. You don't just try and learn everything and go live. It doesn't really work that way. You live and you learn, and then you leave a legacy. Right? So getting those out of order can sometimes be detrimental. People say, oh, I want to leave a legacy, so I'm going to go learn everything, and then I'm going to try and live it out. No. There's been instances where, you hear the stories about people that oh, I can't, I would start my marketing and I've got all sorts of distressed properties around where I live that I could walk to and knock on the door and make a contact. But you know what? I haven't set my LLC up yet, so I don't want to risk anything and put myself in danger, so I'm not going to knock on that door. I'm not going to mail that letter. I'm not going to do anything yet. Okay, I understand that. If that's your natural operating frequency, okay, take that into account when it comes to the speed at which you'll build your business. It may protect you, but how much armor do you really need to go out and have to fight the good fight? Anybody here ever heard the story of David and Goliath? Right? Now, I might not be perfect with the details, but I believe it was a slingshot that he took out Goliath with, right? And when he was looking to go into battle, all of his brothers and everyone else that cared about him and wanted to protect him, they said, you need this heavy armor on. You need the armor of a soldier to put on. And he said, what is this? I'm draped in all this heavy stuff. I can't move. I can't be me. I'm not nimble this way. Give me the weaponry that I am familiar with, that I can best operate, because I know myself and how I can perform if I weaponize myself naturally. So he went out there with his slingshot against this, 9-10 foot tall Goliath beast that had, all the opposing forces shaking in their shoes. And with that slingshot, gave him that single shot right to the noggin. He falls, and if you know the story well, off with his head and everything else. And then it turned into King David, right? But trying to have every protective measure in the world before you go out and do anything. I need to take 15 classes before I make a cold call. I need to take all the classes before I try and pull a list. I need to do this and this and this and this. And I'm not saying be unprepared, but overly prepared can be so inundating that it paralyzes and cripples you to actually taking action. I mean, even for us, when we were going through some of the Rich Dad training classes, they were forcing us to get on the phone and call strangers and act like we were going to buy their house. Talk about a feeling of lack of integrity. But you had to break the mold of what it feels like to make an offer to someone or tell them, I want to buy your house.
Right.
But I don't have any money. I gave all my money to Rich Dad. My credit cards are even maxed out.
Yeah, it's scary.
The learning was done. It was time to live, right? We had enough information to get going. So once you get a taste of that, once you get a feel for that, you can actually go out and do a whole lot without being able to see the whole staircase. And that's so important to be able to take away, is knowing you don't have to have it all to get started. It's going to take a little bit of faith.
Right. And it is going to take some kind of trusted source. So having somebody in your corner that's been where you want to go, or that is where you want to go and is willing to help you and coach you and guide you and tell you what the next step is, or to just make sure to give you that reinforcement that you're on the right path.
Yes.
And can see through the BS lies that you're telling yourself of what else you need to do before you get going, or before you do this, before you take action here. And you got to get out of your comfort zone. You have to be willing to be learnable and teachable. And you have to be open to learning new ideas that contradict these statements that you tell yourself all the time.
And that's one of the things that, a good coach, a good mentor, a good guide, somebody that's in your corner rooting for you, they're going to be able to bring to the table that's going to feel awkward, because you're going to be likely presented with ideas and concepts that feel abnormal to you. Like, good coaching should not be intuitive. Because if it was intuitive to you, you'd already have it figured out and you'd already be doing it, so you don't need a coach. So a good coach is going to tell you and push you to take actions that don't seem logical. They're going to feel sometimes flat out wrong. You're going to want to argue. You're going to want to contest. You're going to want to question. But being coachable and trainable is being willing to listen to that sage counsel, that open, honest advice that wants to see you propel in the right direction. And I'll tell you one thing, knowing that this isn't the same in every arena. My younger brother used to play in the NFL, right? And you would think as a rookie coming into the NFL, all the veterans would be looking out for the young guy coming up. He's going to be the future franchise player on the team. No, it's not like that. You are a threat coming in. You're younger, you're faster, you're more driven. You're not even really paid yet. And you're only making a few $100,000 a year, right? You're the guy that's going to take that 2-comma club veteran out of their spot and take their endorsements away because you're newer and hungry and haven't gotten lazy yet and comfortable with your success. So you might be asking them a question and saying, hey, do I go right, go left? And they know dang well you need to go right, and they're going to tell you to go left. Because as a rookie, if you screw up, that's going to solidify their position. That's not good coaching. That's not good leadership. That's not good mentoring. A good mentor, coach, or leader is not going to lead you in a way that solely benefits them. Right? They're going to do things that are going to benefit you, because it's a symbiotic relationship, right? I grow, you grow. We grow together. So the idea is totally different than in some competitive sports arenas. It's collaboration over competition all day long. And so that's what you have to recognize, is sometimes being coachable and trainable is willing to take even baby steps, just not maybe steps, even willing to take baby steps in the right direction that's going to be in congruence with the guidance you've been given. Because if you fall on your face and find out, okay, they were wrong, well, at least you've lived enough, and it's not going to take you off the cliff and kill you, but it's going to help you become more educated about the action you're taking in your situation. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be like, oh, wait, that thing I was scared to do, that door I was going to knock on, or that letter I wanted to write or not write, it wasn't that bad after all. It wasn't difficult. It was just new.
Right.
And that's where you have to remind yourself, is that leadership force in your life has been there before.
Right.
They know that the alligator that you see really has no teeth and moves really slow. So you just jump on its head like a video game or run around it. You're not going to get attacked. You're not going to lose your life. No one's ever reached through the phone for you making a cash offer and come and strangled you to death because you made a low ball offer. It doesn't work that way. But if you've never tried it before, you could swear there's a monster on the other end of that line.
Absolutely. Well, and there's so many preconceived notions that we have when we go and do something new. Really, when we operate just on a day-to-day basis, right? There are so many things that we're making assumptions about that is incredible. And so for me, it's like one of the best things I like personally about being a coach to other people is seeing those assumptions, because it allows me to see my own assumptions.
Yep.
And so things like that person doesn't like to be called on the phone, or that person's going to get mad at me, or this deal is going to fall apart, or whatever.
They're never going to accept that offer. It's
right.
too low.
Right.
Are
You
sure
don't
about
know that. You don't know that. Like, wait until somebody tells you. They have to tell you. And even still, that doesn't always, it's not always the case. So, like, just being able to see all the different assumptions we make, and then how that impedes our ability to take action, because it's not going to work, or they're not ready to sell yet. They told me to call back in 6 months and it's only been 3. So what? Call them. It's those things. And it's also the other part of the assumptions can be like, oh, there's competition in my marketplace. Oh, I'm in a heavy wholesale area. There's wholesalers everywhere. There's landlords everywhere. Nobody rents here, or you can't do Airbnbs here. Like, there's just so many of these thoughts, and we don't even bring them to our coach. That's really interesting, is that we come into like real estate investing and we're brand new, and we knew we were brand new, and we promised ourselves we would be coachable and teachable and we would take action, and we did, and that's why we've had so much success. But at the same time, I know that instead of just going to a coach of ours, or a guide or a teacher or whoever it was, and saying, so you're telling me to knock on the door and you're telling me to say this, is there any danger in this? Like, we're asking a question, right? We don't really do that necessarily. We just automatically assume, oh my God, if I go do this and I knock on the door, somebody's going to pull a gun. Or as a female, I can tell you that I've had this thought of like going into somebody's house, some guy's house that answers the door after you knock on it and says, yes, I'm willing to sell my house. Now come take a look at it. And then you go in it, and maybe it has a basement, and then you get shoved in the basement with all these other people that have knocked on his door, and you're like trapped.
Well, that's where all the competition went in your market.
Yeah. So, but the point is, like, we just make these assumptions.
Yeah.
We just make these assumptions, and it hinders us, and we don't even stop to ask it. We just made the assumption based on our previous experience in life and what we've been taught, and but we're trying to get a different result. So you need to let that stinking thinking go.
Yeah. And that's one of the things, is because you know what, guess what? Whether real estate's your first business venture or it's your 5th business venture, it doesn't matter. We've all had past failures in life. Am I right or am I right?
Right.
And the biggest danger that comes with human nature is we tend to take those past failures, those past problems, those past upset feelings that we had from our output not matching our expectations, and project those into the next venture. You might have opened a restaurant and it did well for a year and then crashed and burned, and now you go into real estate investing, and then now you're scared to open the doors of your real estate business because you think it's going to go just like your restaurant. We're not serving up food, you're serving up offers. Some will get accepted, some will get rejected, just like your dishes did back when you were cooking up the hot plates. So you have to recognize that and not take that past pain, that past emotional baggage, and project it in front of you into the future. One of my mentors said to me one time, he said, it said a couple of things. Well, one, the path to where you're going is smooth. Why would you want to proactively throw stones in your own path? And I was like, whoa, okay. And then another thing he said was like, listen, why would you ever take an unwanted outcome and project that into the realm of possibilities as to what might happen? Oh, they're never going to accept this offer. Well, what do you think that energy is going to bring you? Right? You need to have that energy of the positive affirmations that it's like, man, okay, this offer might be a little bit different than I'm expected to give, but this seller is motivated and they're going to be glad that I am a problem solver to their situation. So this cash offer is going to be just what they are looking for at the perfect time to help them be able to move on with their life.
Right.
That's the attitude you have to have. You have to have some posture, some swagger, some confidence. I'm not talking about being cocky or arrogant. I'm talking about some belief in the thing that you're doing.
Absolutely.
Or at least belief in the one that's guiding you, or at least belief in the vehicle, or at least belief in the odds that if you talk to 100 people, one of them's going to say yes. Have a belief in something, even if it ain't in yourself. Have enough belief that you can have activation energy to move forward in the direction of your dreams and project the positivity, because what do you think the negativity is going to be bringing? If you can or can, if you think you can, think you can't, you're probably right. So don't ever project an undesirable outcome into your future. It's like you're jinxing yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what good guidance in your life and in your business can help you get past. When you start to have all that junk bubble up and it, diarrhea of the jaw and all that poop comes out of your mouth, they can help you flush that stuff away.
Yeah.
And insert some better inputs, right? Some better programming. We got to debug the software that we have. Sometimes you got to meditate to set it straight. So, have somebody in your corner that's looking to nudge you in that right direction is so important, because we frequently get in our own way of being successful or having the health that we want, or the relationships. Well, the last girl cheated on me, so I ain't never getting married. Okay. How's that going to affect your next relationship? How's that affect your ability to really open up and love and get the true joy that a passionate, intimate relationship that's trusting and committed can deliver you? Joy, happiness, enthusiasm. What more could you ask for in life, right? A little fulfillment. Boom. You're done. Hang it up.
And I mean, that's the point. That's the exact point. I don't even know. I can't even follow that.
So we're all trying to align, right? Achievers leaning into greatness now. Get that? Align. And you want your actions and your intentions in alignment, right? So it's just something to think about as we go out and, conquer and slay and whatever it is that we want to do. Really just win.
Yeah.
And celebrate some wins, right? How are you guys winning today? How are you winning this month of November? Are you winning your Q4? Or do you need to do some more, right? Don't walk out the door. It's not over yet. Fourth quarter rally cry, baby. Let's push. So yeah, that's one of the main things. Do we have any wins we want to celebrate with them today?
We have all kinds of wins happening. We have all kinds of wins happening. We have some tax liens going on right now in the tax lien foreclosures.
Yeah.
We have some out-of-state deals that are in escrow right now.
Yeah.
We're excited about. We're investing in some apartment complexes this last month.
Our multifamily portfolio, yeah. Taking profits on some good deals that we've had, some creative finance deals. We'll be able to do a deal diary soon about zero down, infinite ROI. That'll be pretty cool to share some of the structuring and financing creatively, and getting a nice setup and a team around you to help you succeed. That'll be a good completed win that's happening. It's in process now. All this stuff is good. I had a great workout with my second oldest son. Today he said, "Daddy, I want to do some ninja kicks." I'm like, "You're talking to a ninja. Let's go." So we were exercising a little bit this morning. That's why you can feel my energy. I got my energy back. And and that's another good thing is like we just keep having so many just people around us having ahas and epiphanies, and they're gracious enough to share them with us, and we share them back. And we have been using we've been using Facebook to communicate as a group just like this with these other people, and just focusing on getting your energy, focusing on getting your vitality, making sure that we can do whatever we can to pour into other people to get up their mountain of success, because it really doesn't matter where you're trying to focus your energy. It matters that you have energy and that you access the energy that you do have. Yeah, and we're just blessed to be currently constantly receiving new good people into our world that are aspiring to unlock the greatness that's within them right now, and to be a part of that makes us feel over the moon as far as gratitude and happiness and joy. And so that was some of what we wanted to share with you guys. But if you're catching this live, Drop your wins in the comments below if you catch this later. You might just get tagged because
Drop
we
your
know some of you are out there winning and that might not be sharing. Maybe you just acknowledge, be like, yeah, I'm winning, but I don't want to say it just yet. Well, tell somebody, even if you don't tell us, but acknowledge the win if we know that you're out there. And we wish you a wonderful rest of your Wednesday.
Yes.
And we'll be sure to catch you same time, same channel next week.
All right, guys. See you later. Have a good one.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.